Now we'll take a look at our standard double glazed window, which is fitted in all our vans now. With the window we have 5 locking tabs. These tabs released by pressing in the grey button. So we'll release all our tabs. We can now open the window. With the window it does have 3 height settings. And once we release the last setting, we just go up and it'll come back down, and then we can close the window by just re-locking the tabs. Also with the window it does have different preferences. It has the blind setting and it has the fly screen setting. If we move the fly screen setting down, we can lock these together, so we can do it all in the one motion, go from straight to blind to fly screen. We are now going to look at our control panel. This is the control panel used in the Quantum Plus and Quantum. The first thing we'll look at is the projector monitor, which is for our inverter. We have an on-off button, a load and watt and volt setting. The optional here is the BM1, which is not in all vans as standard. This is an optional extra. This shows us the battery state. Moving down to the tank gauge, so this is for our toilet tank. If we press the read button, it gives us a reading of how full the tank is. Then we have our diesel heater. This is a dial operation and it's just controlling the temperature. We then move on to our water tank gauges. If we press the test button, it will show us how much water we have in the front and rear tank. At the bottom we have our switchboard. At the front, at the beginning of the board, is the main power. We then have the awning lights, the internal lights, the water pump, the fridge, and also a spare option. At the side of the control panel we have a small fire extinguisher. This is used in case of emergency for fires. We are now going to take a look at the shower rose arm. With this arm, if we move the handle towards us, this will allow us to move the arm up and into place, and move the handle back down to lock it in. We then get the shower rose and it just locks in by pushing down and in. To remove the shower rose, just pull the rose out and lock it back in, and then lift the handle back towards us and this will move down, allowing us to lock the shower arm away. A key point to remember is when the roof is coming down, the shower arm has got to be down, otherwise it will damage the roof. We are now inside the Quantum. Now with the Quantum, when we remove the seat cushions, like so. So now we'll take a look at the Quantum under seating area. Here we have the hot water system, the diesel heater, the 2 water filters, the Oz charger for the batteries. Here we have the water pump. Also just above the water pump we have 2 taps. These 2 taps work on our front and rear tank. The front being towards the front of the vehicle, the rear at the rear. Always work with the front tank first, as our rear tank also works for the toilet, so our capacity is used a bit more in that one. So with the front tank we've got 140 litre capacity. Switch the tank up and now the tank is activated. Now in the Quantum, on the awning side underneath our seats, if we remove the seat cushions, we'll now see that we have gained access to our electrical compartment underneath the seats. Here we have our batteries, 2 120 amp AGM batteries. We have our red arc unit, a low voltage disconnect unit, our fuse board. Down below that is the inverter. And here, what we can't see, we have our 2 circuit breakers, one for the inverter and one for the mains. On the front of the compartment we have a hatch here which allows access to the circuit breakers, so we don't have to lift off the seats. We'll now take a look at the corner cabinet inside the Quantum. Now as standard in the corner cabinet we have on the left side 2 plug-in points for the inverter, and on the right 2 plug-in points for the mains. Now on this model we do have optional extras. These are not as standard, so we have the 2 12-volt points and 2 extra TV aerial points, but these are an option. Here we have the hot water system activation switch. Now with this we have 2 settings. We can switch it up for 60 degrees and down for 70 degrees. Also with this, if there is a fault when we switch it on, a red light will appear. As you can see, the red light has come on, indicating that there is a fault with the hot water system. This fault is because we haven't switched the gas on or removed the cover off the outside of the van. So the key points with this is always remember to switch on the gas first and take off the hot water system cover and vent. Underneath we have the diesel heater outlet point. Now with all of our vans, they do come with a nightlight. The nightlight switch is located on the front of the seat towards the bed. Here we have the switch on this model, so we use this to switch the nightlight on and off. The nightlight is situated closest to the shower on the front of the seat compartment. As we can see, it is underneath the diesel heater outlet port. We'll now take a look at the standard Sirocco fan, which is fitted to all our vans as standard. With the fan, there is a lever on top. If we lift up the lever, we can move the fan to whichever angle we need. Also with the fan, it can rotate 360 degrees. The fan has 3 settings, different speed settings. So if we look at the buttons underneath, we have a button at the front and a button at the back. The button at the front controls the speed, and the button at the back controls the timer, which we have 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours and 8. If we press the button at the front, that will change the speed and also switch off the fan. With the fan, it comes with the 12 volt socket which plugs into the overhead compartment here. If we want to remove the fan, we pull the plug out of the socket and lift the bracket off. Good thing to remember is when travelling, always remove the fan, as it could vibrate off and come loose or fall off. Now we are inside the van. This is the vanity area. Here we have the sink, a tap mixer giving us hot and cold water. We also have another LED light, which again it can be moved to preference and has its own manual switch. Also as standard, we have the inverter access points and the mains access points, a 12 volt access point and another TV aerial for plugging in a TV port. Going down to the drawers, they range from small to large, and as standard we have the radio fitted into the vanity. We will now take a look at the setup for the Quantum series above the bed. Above the bed we have a speaker located in each corner. We also have 2 manually operated LED lights. Going up from that we have the roof skirt. Now with the roof skirt, a key point to remember is to always close the windows before closing the roof down.